My name is Matt Ocker. I'm 32 years old. I've lived in Victoria for roughly 20 years and decided to seek this position because, number one, like anyone, when you're going to look to run for office, if the guy's not retiring, I think you can probably do a better job than he can do. So that was my determining factor. My signs have a couple of slogans on them. They say transparency and fiscal responsibility. With transparency, one of the things I've noticed in attending commissioners' courts is that budgets are approved and they tell you what the name of the budget is, but they don't give you the numbers. There's virtually no discussion before they vote on things to spend money. I went to a commissioner's court recently, and in 12 minutes, and that was including saying the pledge, they spent $2.5 million, roughly. I encourage each of you that think you're getting transparency out of your county government to look at the county budget. It's online. You can go to victoriacountytx.org, you can look at it. I wish I'd have counted the number of times it says extra help and miscellaneous in it, because it is very surprising. One of the things that I will do as county judge is I will televise the meetings. I don't care if I have to pay for it out of my own pocket. I hope the guy that gets paid for that isn't here tonight. But I know that it's been said around town that the best thing to happen for the citizens of Victoria was that the council meetings started being televised, and probably the worst thing for the council members was that the council meetings started being televised. I like that kind of transparency. I would also like to change the meeting time. I think when you meet at 10 o'clock a.m. Monday morning, you're not asking for citizen input. We are an agrarian type society here. We do have industry. We have folks that are at work. They can't burn an entire day's vacation to come down and discuss one thing with you. Fiscal responsibility. We've heard a lot of lip service from a lot of people that hold offices at every level that they're fiscal conservatives. Well, it's funny because when I start talking about cutting money, some of those people that hold office that claim to be fiscally conservative, they get upset with me. They talk about the tax rate, how it hasn't increased in 7 years. Has any of your tax bills gone down? Because I can tell you mine hasn't. And, I think that's just a way of kind of doing the three-card Monty. I think anytime you take money out of private industry and private people's hands and you put it into government, you've taken 100% of the productivity out of every one of those dollars. Government produces nothing. Leadership. One of the things I've noticed in our, not just county government, but in all governments, is that there seems to be an over-willingness to pass the buck. It's never anybody's fault. It's always somebody else's. That will not happen with me as your county judge. I will be the CEO and CFO of Victoria County. My name is Matt Ocker. I want to be your next county judge. Thank you.
I live in Lavaca County and I monitor Lavaca County's budget. And as you know, a budget has two sides. It has what you think you're going to spend, and then it has the appropriations of exactly what you spend. What we have noticed in Lavaca County over the last 10 years is that the budget side, what you think you'll spend, is actually padded by more than 10%. And as everybody in this room probably knows, your tax rate is based on budget, not what you spend. Can you tell these fine folks in this room what you plan to do to change that?
Yeah, one of the things that I plan on doing is I don't plan on having a slush fund. I think that anytime there is what you're talking about, I understand that sometimes you want to allow room for contingencies, but if there is an over collection, I would like that to go into the overproduction funds, whatever they call them, the overflow funds. And eventually, once you get those funds up to a certain number, it's not just play money for me to play with and go spread around to my friends. I would like that money to ultimately cut what we take in.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Right here.
There we go.
Hi, Matt.
Hello.
Leanne Knowles, owner of Knowles Insurance and Financial Services here locally the last 20 years. How many budgets have you prepared personally or helped prepare as a part of a committee when you've served in a leadership position in this community?
As far as public funds, I have never prepared a budget. However, in 2004, I started my own business. I made $14 an hour. I don't think it takes a brain surgeon to realize that whenever you take a company in a span of 3 to 4 years that grosses over $1 million, and you start out with roughly $30,000 in the bank, I think I know numbers. But as far as your question, ma'am, I have not worked with other people's money. And I think that's what qualifies me to run this office.
Do you, excuse me, do you have any notes on your hand?
Not at the moment.
Okay. Well, that was can we get a real question? You know? Can you do it from there, Dave?
Matt, have you read the Republican platform in the state of Texas?
Mr. Hill, I have read probably about 90% of it. I will be honest with you, I have not read 100% of it.
Is there any area of the platform that you have read that you do not agree with or you cannot support?
No, there's nothing I can't support. There are some places in there that are somewhat vague and that cover a little bit too much, I think, to be so concise. But one of the things that I love about the Republican Party Texas platform are the provisions in there against judicial activism. I love that.